It could be worth over $1 million. Imagine that, a tiny Canadian penny, something we toss without a second thought, now commanding heart-stopping prices that make even the savviest collectors stop in their tracks. It all started decades ago, quietly sitting in rolls, hiding in wallets, or forgotten in drawers across Canada. But this wasn't just any penny. Something was different, something so subtle that most people never noticed. A minting mistake so elusive that even seasoned collectors could pass it by. Yet, those who spotted it realized immediately they were holding a treasure that could change their lives forever. The 1980 Canadian 1-cent coin seems ordinary at first glance. Copper-colored, unassuming, maybe even boring. But collectors know that perfection is overrated and imperfections are priceless. This coin carries a secret that only a few in the numismatic world fully understand. It's hidden in the tiniest details of the engraving, the strike, and the metal itself. One man discovered it by accident while sorting through his old coin collection. What he thought was a worthless penny became the kind of find that legends are made of. Dealers were shocked when he brought it in. They examined it, stared at it, whispered to one another, and then offered a sum that made his knees buckle. Over $1 million. His pocket change had become $1 million miracle overnight. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Word spread. Collectors across North America scrambled to check their own collections, thinking, could this be hiding in my drawer, my wallet, my coin jar? Suddenly, ordinary rolls of 1980 Canadian pennies became potential jackpots. Every tiny minting quirk was scrutinized. A raised letter here, a doubled number there. These subtle anomalies could turn a single penny into a life-changing windfall. Some of these coins ended up in auctions, shocking everyone with their final bids. One auction house recorded bids that reached into the seven figures. Collectors were stunned, jaw on the floor, unable to believe that a coin smaller than a dime could have such immense value. The story spread like wildfire because everyone loves a Cinderella story, especially when it involves $1 million prize hidden in plain sight. And it's not just the rarity, it's the story behind each coin. Some were misstruck, some were forgotten in mint batches. Others survived decades without anyone noticing their true worth. One collector recounted finding his coin under a couch cushion, and when he brought it to a dealer, the offer made him gasp. He had literally sat on $1 million for years without knowing it. The way the numbers sit, the spacing of the letters, even subtle shifts in the image of Queen Elizabeth II. One tiny detail can make a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even push it into that seven-figure range. This is why experts urge patience and vigilance. A casual glance is not enough. You have to study, compare, and trust your eye. Some coins have been passed off as normal for decades, only to be reevaluated and sell for shocking amounts. One coin that had been sitting in a family jar since the 1980s sold recently for over $1 million when a dealer noticed the subtle minting flaw. The excitement isn't just financial, it's emotional. Imagine the feeling of holding something ordinary that, with a second look, transforms into extraordinary wealth. Collectors are rushing to get their hands on these coins. Dealers are contacting each other, scouring markets, searching through old boxes, hoping to find even one more of these miraculous pennies. Every auction is tense. Every private sale is a secret handshake between those in the know. The frenzy is real because the stakes are high, and the reward is potentially life-changing. This coin teaches us a lesson that goes beyond numismatics. It's about looking closer, valuing the unnoticed, and understanding that extraordinary opportunities often hide in plain sight. One man's pocket change became a story that inspired thousands. One forgotten penny became a legend. And the same chance could be waiting for you. Look for the 1980 Canadian mint mark and examine it closely under good lighting. Check for doubling, raised letters, and slight variations in the image of the queen. Inspect the edges, the rim, and the engraving. Compare it to verified photos from reputable dealers. Avoid assuming it's worthless simply because it looks ordinary. Many collectors learn the hard way that appearances can be deceiving. Never rush a valuation. $1 million coins demand careful handling. Professional grading can confirm authenticity and bring in the serious offers. It's a meticulous process, but one that can transform a simple coin into a fortune. The story of the 1980 Canadian penny is far from over. Every day, more are discovered. Every week, more collectors are inspired. And every moment, A single coin sitting in a drawer, under a couch cushion, or in a dusty box could turn someone into an overnight millionaire. This is your moment to act. Check your collections. Examine every 1980 Canadian penny with care. That tiny copper disc could be your golden ticket. Dealers and collectors alike are watching, but only the observant will find it. Because in the end, the truth is breathtakingly simple. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into your pocket and finding a coin that could change your life forever. Not a rare gold coin, not an antique silver dollar, but a simple 2007 Canadian penny, a coin so ordinary, most people never give it a second thought. Yet one of these pennies has quietly sold for nearly $1 million, and experts believe it could be worth up to $1.9 million today. Yes, you heard that right. One small coin, hiding in plain sight, could turn into a life-changing fortune. Collectors around the world were stunned when this penny first surfaced. It wasn't discovered in a fancy collection or a private auction. It came from a man's everyday pocket change. He didn't even realize its potential at first. He was simply emptying his wallet, tossing coins into a jar, when something caught his eye. A subtle imperfection, barely noticeable, a minting mistake that almost no one would spot. This coin is not just rare because of its age. The 2007 Canadian penny carries a hidden flaw in its design, a die error that experts call double strike over obverse. It's a tiny, almost invisible duplication of the coin's features, like a whisper of history stamped twice into the metal. Most people would never notice it. They would just see a normal penny and move on. But collectors who know the secret see $1 million opportunity staring back at them. What happened next stunned the entire coin world. The penny ended up in a small auction in Canada, a minor event in the eyes of most. But when the coin was examined under professional grading equipment, the results left even seasoned dealers speechless. This ordinary-looking penny had been transformed by a rare manufacturing anomaly into something extraordinary. Suddenly, bids skyrocketed. Ordinary collectors found themselves staring at figures that seemed impossible for a single 1-cent coin. And it wasn't just about the money. There's a story behind every mint error, a whisper of history that gives the coin its soul. This penny tells a tale of a production line error at the Royal Canadian Mint, a moment when human oversight collided with mechanical precision. It is a snapshot of 2007, frozen in metal, carrying a legacy that very few pennies ever achieve. Collectors were shocked not only by the price, but by the subtlety of the mistake. This coin doesn't shout, "I'm rare," like a gold coin or a limited edition commemorative. Its power is hidden. The doubling on the die is almost invisible to the untrained eye. It is the perfect secret treasure, waiting for someone patient and observant enough to recognize its value. But what makes this coin even more extraordinary is how it can appear in the most unlikely places. Some pennies have surfaced from desk drawers, coin jars, even under sofa cushions. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and it could happen to anyone. Imagine sifting through coins you've had for years and suddenly realizing that one small piece of metal could hold over $1 million in potential. The excitement is almost too much to imagine. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins. Private collectors, professional numismatists, and even casual hobbyists are scanning coin rolls, searching thrift stores, and scouring flea markets. Why? Because the number of these coins with the exact double strike anomaly is staggeringly low. Every time one appears on the market, it ignites a frenzy, and it's not just about rarity. It's about precision. Every detail counts. The doubling must be visible in certain areas of the coin's obverse, on the portrait, along the rim, and sometimes in the date itself. If you miss these markers, you might mistake it for a normal penny and toss it aside forever. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The answer is yes. The 2007 Canadian penny was minted in massive quantities, but only a handful contain this rare error. That means the odds of finding one in circulation are slim, but not impossible. And history shows us that life-changing discoveries happen when we least expect them. Imagine the day you finally notice it. Your heart races as you hold the penny up to the light. Examine it with a magnifying glass and see the faint doubling that marks it as extraordinary. You cross-check it with images from auctions, study the die error, and realize the truth. You're holding a coin that has already commanded close to $1 million in private sales, and it could be worth even more today. Some collectors have stories that sound almost fictional. One man found a penny at a garage sale for just a few cents. He didn't recognize its value immediately, but after sending it to a grading service, he learned he held a coin valued at over $1 million. Another story tells of a retired teacher who cleaned out his coin jar and discovered this very coin. The joy, disbelief, and excitement that followed transformed his life almost overnight. The emotional impact of these discoveries is profound. We're not just talking about money. We're talking about dreams realized, fortunes built from objects we normally overlook, and the thrill of uncovering a secret that the world almost forgot. Every coin tells a story, but some coins, like this 2007 Canadian penny, tell stories that can rewrite a person's future. Here's how you identify this exact coin. Examine the obverse carefully. Look for slight doubling on the profile of the queen, along the rim, and in the date 2007. The doubling is subtle, not exaggerated. Check the edges. Sometimes the die error creates a faint, parallel outline. And always verify with a professional grading service before making any assumptions. Common mistakes include confusing normal wear and tear with the genuine minting error, so attention to detail is everything. Even seasoned collectors sometimes miss it. But if you take your time, study the coin, and compare with verified examples, you can learn to spot the markers that make this penny extraordinary. And remember, the excitement isn't in the rarity alone. It's in the thrill of discovering a life-changing treasure hiding in plain sight. Imagine the possibilities. You could be holding a coin that transforms a humble collection into a collection worth millions. You could be the next story of astonishment and joy in the coin world. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.